Hey y'all, make a wig with me. In this video, I'm doing a lace closure wig replacement. So first things first, I gotta go to the post office, go to my P.O. box, get this yellow slip, take it to the front counter so I can get the package. And once I get the package, we go home, we take the wig out the package and we start washing it. Now, I will say that this wig is in really good condition. Even the closure is still in good condition. Now, the closure do got a hole in it, but I feel like even with the hole in the closure, all you got to do is part around the hole and the closure is still wearable. I would still wear it personally, but I'm not going to stop anyone from getting their closure replaced. And then this is the replacement closure. It's a 5x5 16-inch body wave lace closure from my vendor. I had to order it for this wig. And basically, you already know I bleached the knots. So as the wig was air drying, because I did wash it and deep condition it, as I was air drying, I decided to go ahead and bleach the knots. And I ain't even gonna lie, I was being like a little lazy. I didn't feel like getting no towel or nothing to protect the counters. So I just used the bags, the packaging bags, because I'm gonna throw them away anyways. And just using it as a barrier to protect the countertops or whatever. But yeah, I put the bleach on the knots. I let it sit for 45 minutes. I rinse it out and I let everything air dry overnight. And then this is the next day. I'm basically getting everything situated. I'm getting the canvas head, the correct size canvas head on the stand. And then I'm pinning down the wig because we are going to need to remove the old closure. Now, some people might do that first, but I feel like I got to use my tools to remove the old closure. And I don't want to use my tools on an old or dirty wig. So I always wash the wigs first, okay? Right now, I'm just pinning all of the hair from the closure out of the way. That way we could go ahead and get this closure removed. And then I'm also pinning down the wig around the closure. So when we remove the closure, the wig doesn't like open up and expand so much to where we can't get the new closure placed properly, if that makes sense. So I'm getting a seam ripper and then I'm just ripping up those stitches. And you really do need a seam ripper. If you use regular scissors, you're probably going to cut something you're not supposed to cut. So use the seam ripper, okay? Very tedious process, but it gets the job done. And when I tell y'all those stitches was in there so good. Oh my gosh. But hey, sewing machine wigs for the win. And this is what the closure looked like. I see it was just a very small hole that was in it. And now I'm just going to get some tweezers so we can tweeze out all of them loose threads and strands of thread. Because if we leave them in there and we go to the sewing machine, it's going to cause a lot of tangling and bird nests. And we don't need that. So we're going to take those tweezers and we're going to tweeze out all of that loose thread. And while I was at it, I went ahead and just removed that whole two tracks, the double weft track that goes all the way around the closure, because we're going to have to stitch that back on anyways. So I did remove that roll of hair. And now it's time for our new closure. It was bleached to perfection, y'all. It looks so good. Look at it. It don't even need to be plucked for real. Like, look at how natural the front of that hairline look. So yeah, we go ahead and put it on the canvas head. We get it pinned down. And y'all know the drill. Y'all know the drill. Now, I will say it's a lot of T-pins, and it's a lot of T-pins that might get in the way, that might get stitched under the closure and stuff. So you do have to be mindful with the T-pins, making sure like you're not stitching them down in a place to where they can't be removed. But basically, I'm just hand stitching all around the wig. And then once that's hand stitched, we are going to go over to the sewing machine and start stitching that last row of hair around the closure, but also making sure we reinforce the closure with the sewing machine stitches. Hand stitching is good. Sewing machine stitching is better. It lasts longer. It's more secure, which is why I make wigs on the sewing machine, okay? If you want to learn how to make wigs on the sewing machine, I do have online courses and classes, okay? Very detailed, very beginner friendly. If you have never picked up a sewing machine and used one before, the course is for you. If you have never made a wig in your life, the course is for you. Even if you've made wigs before and you just missing bits and pieces of the process, the course is for you. So the link will be in the description box. But yeah, you don't need that course in order to pick up what I'm putting down in this video. So just keep watching. I hope this video is helpful. But yeah, we're going over to the sewing machine. And like I said, I'm stitching down that row of hair. So remember, we removed the row of hair that typically would be around the closure. I'm just going back and stitching that back to the wig cap with the sewing machine, and then I'm just going to go around again to reinforce that closure to make sure the closure is nice and secure. And now it's time to style, y'all. I do apologize because I didn't record the entire process of this being styled from start to finish. But it's basically what I always do. We're using a hot comb and a wax stick. She did want some baby hairs, so eventually I did have to cut and mold down some baby hairs. And then she also wanted it curled. Was it a side part or a middle side part? So she wanted a side part and she also wanted it curled. So I styled it up the way that she wanted it styled. But the lace closure, like replacing the closure, very easy. All you have to do is just wash the wig, let it air dry, remove the lace, and replace the lace. It's one of my favorite services. It's a easy way to make a quick buck. For a lace closure replacement plus styling, this order came up to $160. So you can do one of these a day. One of these a day is how much money? That's about, I had to use my calculator. That's $4,800 a month just for one of these a day. One lace closure replacement a day. That's almost $5,000 a month. So one little small skill and you can make money. This doesn't even account for other wig services that you can offer, letting people provide their own hair and making them a wig. You providing the hair for them and making them a wig. Like, you just styling, you customizing it only. Maybe you only bleach knots, pluck, and style, and that's it. It all adds up at the end of the day. And it can make you a lot of money. But yeah, I'm still styling it, making sure it's molded down right because I'm going to let this air dry while, I got it plugged and I got it styled and parted and the baby hairs got to air dry. So I'm just getting it kind of molded before I start curling it. I'm cutting just a little bit of layers in it. But yeah, like I said, I'm kind of prepping it so that everything is set when it's time for me to come and start curling the hair. And sorry, y'all. When I started curling it, I forgot that I should be recording. So y'all really getting like the end of it. But basically, I'm just using my iron. I think this 1 1/4 or 1.5 inch curler. And I'm just curling the hair with that. I'm finishing it off with some foam, and basically that's it. This is the final look. So again, this was a wig revamp, a lace closure replacement with a style.